There's aspects of me playing around with just building like things together and creating relics, doing narrative-based storytelling through different modes of mediums. I feel like that's my jam. I like using a lot of different things to get to one image, and what it takes to do that is super fun and challenging. It is definitely like a puzzle. My name is Jermaine J. Carter. I am an interdisciplinary artist from Washington, D.C. And my practice involves with narrative-based storytelling through different mediums. Right now, I'm getting closer to realizing like the kind of work that I want to make. I'm getting into relic making and thinking about what it takes to create a story from a physical image. What can I use um, to create narratives without talking too much about it? Like what kind of materials can communicate the narratives easier, just for you to see it. I think my favorite process of making has been creating molds. In college, I started creating molds for the first time with this series of these black police officers named Jamal. And when I was in a Michael's shopping store, just getting some deals, I saw this black police officer figure, and there weren't any other ones there. And I thought, oh, this is really unique, kind of ironic. So I had got it, I picked it up in my hand, and I was like, whoa, this feels crazy. This feels really weird. Having that kind of power over an object and a toy. And I knew it felt really special. So the first thing I was like, how do I make more of these rather than buying them? And then I started getting into technique classes to learn how to make different kinds of molds, like two-part molds, using silicone. I started off with plaster first, plaster molds, and then got into silicone. But yeah, I started falling in love with the process and started making like about 50, almost to 100 of just that same object. And I just really liked having that quantity, and being able to control that was really special. I like to break things down and deconstruct a lot of my different practices together. I like to paint, I also like to draw, and I'm also into animation a lot, motion graphic design too. And I like the blend of all these different mediums together to create different images, different modes of making with them talking to each other. And so when I thought about this piece, I was thinking a lot about one of my favorite paintings growing up. My mom and my grandmother, Nini, they would collect different paintings all throughout the house as a kid. So I feel like I decided that I wanted to be an artist when I was about like maybe since probably first grade. First grade. And I know in third grade, I drew this picture of Obama. Um, and then my friends were like, oh snap, I really want this picture too. And I started making Xerox copies of my work at a really young age. We would go to Staples and get a lot of prints, put them in binders, sell them for $1. Well, these third graders at school, while people were like getting Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I was slinging out some drawings. It was like Mario and Sonic, different things like that, Ben 10. And yeah, I just really liked making. I really liked the aspect of creating things on your own too. But going back to that painting, this is inspired by a painting that I had in my house for years and I still have with me. So I had it for like about 20 years. I've just been seeing the same image of this boy walking down the street and this brick wall behind him and all these very, very prominent figures on this brick wall. The boy was holding a book, but he was also looking down at the street. Um, and and it was such a contradictory too, because he's not knowing where he's going. He's looking down the whole time. And I thought that was really a really strong gesture for the artist to make. This is like a painting. It was a painting on canvas that I really liked. But when I saw that image, I always wanted to recreate it in some way. Took like a few years to really think about it. But what's really inspiring from that piece is I wanted to make it as a brick wall. Because when I was younger, around this age, I'm from Southeast D.C. So my mom, she put me into really great schools all my life. I went to Hardy Middle School in Georgetown, and I would travel all the way from Minnesota Avenue to catch a D51 to go over there to go to Hardy. Then after that, I was exposed to Duke Ellington, seeing the Duke Ellington kids on the bus and stuff too. Really made me want to think about, taking my art a lot more seriously, getting to that next level. And then I applied to Duke. I got there, and just ever since then, I had my peers with me, artists who challenged me, and who are my friends till this day. And it's just really inspiring being in a city where we can see museums for free growing up and being exposed to art everywhere. We have to keep making art, even if there's so much pressure of it being taken away from you. It's so much pressure of it being subdued, or your voice being unheard, or being silenced or censored. I think there is a meaning behind making art as a sign of revolt and also a sign of documentation and archival history from narratives that don't want to be taken away. It's very important to have these objects as structures that outlives us and can tell the next generation of what to be reminded of. And your history is not being taken away. And these narratives that you have, they do matter for yourself.